Hello and welcome to the Outdoor Podcast. I'm Dave Thomas. Thank you so much for tuning in to this show. Before we get started, we want to say a special thanks to the companies who help make this show possible. And those companies include Easton Archery, Gas Bowstrings, Burris, The Bow Hitch, Scott Archery, and Trophy Ridge. Also, special shout out to Deer Camp Coffee for keeping us caffeinated throughout the show and keeping us entertaining for you. The Outdoor Podcast was created and produced by bowhunterplanet.com. If you ever want to learn archery, please check out bowhunterplanet.com when you get a minute to learn the skills you need to become an archer or a bow hunter. And now, on to the show. All right, guys, welcome to Between Two Bows. Actually, no, it's not called that. It's the Outdoor Podcast. Brian's here from G5. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So, thanks for coming, number one.
Absolutely.
So, was this what you expected, or?
I've seen the videos, so yeah, no, but it's really cool down
Just
here,
one
man.
big room, really, and then we broke it up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah,
There is a
but
bathroom,
still-
by the way. If you
Oh,
need it.
very cool. No, this is awesome. I mean, I've seen some pretty awesome basements, but this one takes the cake. For sure.
Have you ever seen so many competitor bows in one spot?
No, I'll be honest. That kind of shocked me.
Yeah,
when
there's
we
a
had
lot
down here. Yeah.
There's a lot. We try to hold on to bows a couple years if possible, just so that we have them for reference.
Yeah, no,
When
absolutely.
people ask questions, like, "Oh, here's the prime from 2 years ago," or here, so we try to do that as much as we can. But it gets a little cluttered. So over there on that couch is all the offload we're getting rid of. We're like,
there you
we
go.
got to start getting rid of all these because they're
No,
just
I mean, we kind of do the same
taking up
thing.
room.
We have competitors' bows, and we got our bows, and we just kind of stockpile them on the shelf. Just,
Yeah.
go back and look and see where it is. A lot of it, is possibly just looking at patents and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Things pop out, and you go, well, I think somebody had that before, and, back and forth. So
It was interesting going to G5 and seeing the older bows you guys had.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. And actually, I posted one video of an older one, and people went nuts. There were like all those levers on it and stuff.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, dang, that's cool. So, thanks for the hat, by the way. This one's
got it,
cool,
brother.
man. This one is, I love the camo. Is this like some sort of like old school camo or
No,
something?
it's First Light Fusion.
Oh, it's First Light.
Yep.
Sorry.
So-
For some reason, I was thinking.
It does have that old school look.
It does have
though.
old
Yeah.
school feel to it. I was like, So, over this past year, we'll start with G5 a little bit
Yeah,
before
for
we
sure.
get into Prime. But over this past year, so in 23, you guys ended 23 on what I would say a very high note, claiming both golds for fixed and mechanical in the Golden Arrow
Absolutely.
Awards, which was a big deal because it's a consumer-based vote. And so you edged out Rage, you guys edged out Muzzy, which is hard to do. I mean, Montec's been a leader, of course, for years,
Yep.
but I guess what do you think contributed to that extra push at the end, or to give you guys that lead, I guess, in that market?
I mean, like you said, Montec has been a staple in households for 20 years. I mean, that's one of the reasons I came over to G5. Is that's the products I was using before I even came over to the company. So it's just been a staple. It continues to work. You can resharpen it. I mean, just a gold standard when it comes to a hunting broadhead. So I mean, we've been pretty proud of that when we've been able to add to that with the carbon steel and then going with the M3. Being able to kind of evolve through ages. So still have the classics, but still bring in the modern. So I think we've done really good on that one. The mechanical side, I think we just kind of hit a home run. I mean, we've always been in the mechanical market. We've had the tech ends and then evolved into the T3s. And, the one thing in the past, we've always kind of focused on was 3-blade mechanicals, and that's going to change for this year. We can talk more about that. But just producing a very quality, consistent broadhead. Not knocking some of the other brands, but a lot of the other brands have taken their products over to China. Things have been inconsistent. I mean, broadheads that people have been using for years and years and years just don't seem to work the same. And that's the nice thing about ours is they continually work the same every single time you use it. Another thing is we're all stainless steel on all of our heads. So you're getting a short, compact broadhead, flies like your field point. But you also get a head like the Dead Meat or the Mega Meat that just produces insane entrance and exit holes. And I think the biggest word there is entrance holes. A lot of the broadheads out there are designed to not even open up until they get into the rib cage. Ours explode on entry. So, I mean, you're getting an amazing entrance hole. I mean, not even amazing, kind of almost gory entrance hole. And that always helps if you don't get a pass-through shot.
Yeah.
So if you hit that opposite shoulder, you still have this amazing entrance hole so the cavity can fill up and you can still get blood out. If you get a pass-through, then you've got a killer entrance and exit hole to produce, quick ethical kills. So, and it was, we did a lot of marketing behind it, but honestly, I think it was a lot of word of mouth. I mean, once somebody shot one, it was, dude, you got to check out this Mega Meat. You got to shoot this Dead Meat. Like it was just, everybody was so excited about it. And we could say it, I mean, you said at 23, we came out on top on the awards, but we came out on top on sales too. Like the amount of people that are coming out and getting Mega Meats and Dead Meats in their hand has been I mean, we just got to say thank you to our customers, so.
All right. So that leads me to a funny question about that is like, I never thought of it till you just said this about broadheads in the marketing is that it's gory. So it makes it a little harder.
It is a little hard.
To kind of show off what you're doing. I understand we can get away with it to some extent, but it makes it pretty hard when you think about it because you can't really show blood in a lot of things and different marketing
We
campaigns.
definitely got to be careful. We are blessed that it is a broadhead, so at least on the social media side, you can't really do a lot of advertising or boosted posts with a bow, a gun, even an arrow. But somehow broadheads are allowed to because they are not a projectile; they're just part of an arrow. So we do get away a little bit more gory than most other product categories. You still got to be careful because I mean, there's no doubt that
Yeah, I guess when you think about it, there's been times where we've messed around with photography and we put like fake blood on things. Like that. So I guess that would make sense because you could really. It might not be real, realistically. You don't know. I mean,
yeah, there's definitely been that case. I mean, we haven't had to do that with the mega meat and dead meats just because so many people have sent in, great footage, and we work with some great ambassadors, so we've been able to use it.
I just like playing with the fake blood.
Trust me, we have definitely done that before, So, yeah, try to buy a jug of fake blood in June is not the easiest thing to find, but
there's definitely Halloween places.
Yeah,
around
stockpile
here,
up on Halloween and go from there. So,
so the broadheads, so they did so well. I was blown away, and what you said about the mega meat, dead meat is absolutely 100% accurate. Like every time I'm on a live feed, when we're talking broadheads, people always drop in those names. They're always dropping them in. Oh, what do you think of the dead meat? What do you think? It's like wow, it's really taking hold. But I will say that I 100% agree with you on the comment about one of the reasons you guys are moving up so good is that the quality. So you're making these in-house in Michigan here, and I've seen it myself, like the machine cutting the tips. I mean, it's like strong. It's not from China. It's not imported. That's a big deal. And you're still people are still paying around the same price for that as they would an import.
Exactly.
So of course they want to levitate towards the better stuff.
Yeah, no, and we do. We try to do as much as we possibly in-house. We don't shy away from saying if we do an import, we import for the best reasons we can. I mean, it's not okay, we're going to send the entire product over to China. It's, okay, we work with a blade manufacturer in Northern Europe because we know they make the sharpest and the cleanest blades. We work with some MIM sources outside the country, but they're the best. I mean, we've worked with MIM sources in the country. They're just not as top quality. So there is things that we do export out, but it's usually a small component. We still finish it, machine it in-house. And, but you were there. I mean, you see we do 99% of everything in-house. They're assembled in-house. They're packaged in-house, designed in-house. I mean, we do as much as we can,
Is that called the ferrule, the main part?
Yes, the marine broadhead. So like ours is a 2-piece system, at least on the mega meat and the dead meat. The new T2 is going to be an all 1-piece system. But yeah, so it's considered a ferrule. So some people call if it has a back stem, so you might hear stem and ferrule, but we consider it just a ferrule. So
that's good. Now, I'll propose an opposite question for you because this is an interesting question. I ask this question to smaller broadhead companies a lot, and I say to them, how are you going to compete versus the G5s of the world, the Rage of the world, the whatever, right? And they have their answers and everything. But I would propose the opposite question to you: is how do you stay on top? How do you keep doing what you're doing and not let the smaller broadhead companies slowly eat away at your pie?
It's definitely tough. I mean, every year there's probably 10 to 15 new broadhead companies out there. I mean, it's a passion project for sure. I mean, people love broadheads. I mean, if you talk about two things in the hunting industry, or well, at least in the archery industry, it's bows and broadheads. Rests get a little bit of talk, sights get a little talk, but bows and broadheads are your top tier. So at least we're on top because of that. People are talking about them the most. I think our biggest thing is we just don't bring out product to bring out product. There's a lot of brands out there that just continue to bring out product year after year after year after year. And honestly, I think it just eats at their own sales. It doesn't necessarily, go into anybody else's. So what we do is we focus on making the most top quality products we can. And the biggest word we probably use internally is intuitive. We want a system that's going to be very, very easy to re-engage a blade, to prove that, somebody can just screw it on their broadhead and, screw it on their arrow and shoot. There's a lot of broadheads out there that almost are too complicated to go out and use. So we kind of keep it on the simple side, really easy to use. And put time and effort into it. Like I said, we'll talk about the new T2 pretty quick. I mean, Nate and he probably had 40 different renditions of a ferrule.
Wow.
30 renditions of a blade. The little clip that's going to retain the blade. 30, 40 renditions of that. It's not like we just get close and then we go, okay, let's ship this product out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Nate underneath a microscope filing an edge of one side to make sure it's beveled. And for
Good
guys
job,
that,
Nate.
Yeah,
Good job,
I
man.
would say for the guys that don't know, Nate's one of the owners and one of our head engineers, not the one of the head engineer. That just goes the extra mile, you know, those little things. I mean, to make sure a broadhead's not going to open on a crossbow, to make sure it, you know, it opens on an animal, you know, and that's the thing about what we do on our mechanical side is we do a rear deploying blade system. They want to open up.
Yeah.
That's the point is, you know, the weight's there, the arrow wants to shoot, the blades want to open up. So we got to go on that fine line between keeping it shut out of the bow and opening as soon as it hits the animal. So it's just a lot of those little nuances that I think kind of takes us to the next level over a lot of brands.